It all started with a simple mistake that spiraled into a nightmare. My son Ethan had left his portable basketball hoop in our driveway overnight after a late practice session. The next morning, the cops showed up at our door, slapping him with an arrest warrant for ignoring a petty HOA fine. Yeah, you heard that right, a teenager hauled off in handcuffs over a hoop. But this wasn't just about rules. It was the beginning of my family's war against Evelyn Cartwright, the self-appointed queen of our upscale neighborhood, who ruled the HOA like her personal fiefdom. She was the kind of woman who thrived on power trips, and she had her sights set on us from day one. I'm Michael Thompson, a freelance web developer scraping by on gig work. My wife, Sarah, consults on government paperwork, boring stuff, or so I thought. We have Ethan, our 17-year-old basketball whiz with scouts buzzing about full-ride scholarships. We'd scrimped and saved to move into this fancy suburb, hoping the better schools and facilities would give him a shot at the big leagues. But we were working-class intruders in a sea of McMansions, and folks like Evelyn sniffed that out quick. Our mortgage stretched us thin, and any extra hit like that $200 fine could tip us over the edge. The violation notice arrived with Evelyn's signature scrawled at the bottom, dripping with condescension. Please adhere to community standards or consider relocating to a more suitable area. I marched over to her house, figuring a neighborly chat could sort it. She answered the door in pearls and a smirk, her perfectly manicured lawn mocking our overgrown edges. Look, we're new here, I said, keeping my cool. It was an accident. Can we work this out? She laughed a sharp, brittle sound and slammed the door, muttering something about people like you not belonging. Sarah took it in stride when I told her. Document everything, Michael, she said calmly, sipping her coffee. Let her dig her own grave. There was a glint in her eye, like she'd danced this tango before. I figured it was just her level-headed nature, but she had this quiet confidence that made me wonder. Things escalated fast. Evelyn started patrolling our street daily, binoculars in hand, issuing fines for nonsense. A noisy barbecue that was just us grilling burgers, an unauthorized gathering, when Ethan's friends stopped by. Threatening letters piled up, warning of liens on our house. We learned her motive through neighborhood whispers. She was drowning in debt, facing foreclosure on her own place. Her plan? Harass families like ours until we bailed, then swoop in, buy low, flip for profit. It was predatory, straight out of some corporate raider playbook, but aimed at everyday folks. The stress hit Ethan hardest. His jump shot went off, practices turned into shouting matches with coaches, and those scholarship dreams flickered. I panicked, crunching numbers late at night, terrified we'd lose the house. Sarah, though, stayed eerily composed. She'd take hushed calls in her office, tossing around terms like jurisdictional oversight and compliance audits. Once, I overheard her say, "As a government planner, I know the ropes." I brushed it off, maybe it was work jargon, but she kept urging patience. Timing is everything. Don't react, respond. Then Evelyn crossed the line. One evening, Ethan and a couple buddies were shooting hoops in the driveway, nothing wild, just kids being kids. Suddenly, sirens wailed. 2 squad cars screeched up, officers piling out with hands on holsters. Evelyn had called 911, claiming armed teenagers threatening the neighborhood and dealing drugs. It was a bald-faced lie, designed to terrify. Ethan froze, hands up, his face pale as the cops patted him down. But here's where it got interesting. One officer glanced at Sarah and did a double take. "Mrs. Johnson, from the county office." She nodded, stepping forward like she owned the scene. "Officers, this is a misunderstanding. Let me explain." They listened, documented every word, and turned on Evelyn, who was peeking from her window. "Ma'am, false reports are a crime," the lead cop warned her. "Next time, it's cuffs on you." Sarah handled it like a pro, ensuring body cam footage and reports were filed just right. The cops treated her with deference, almost like a boss. Afterward, neighbors started whispering against Evelyn, her reign of terror cracking. Sarah made a cryptic call that night. "Federal guidelines are clear. Proceed to phase 2. I asked what that meant, but she just smiled. Trust me. Evelyn didn't back down. She doubled down, filing a lawsuit for a restraining order and civil damages, accusing us of intimidation and threats. She painted us as thugs in court papers, demanding we pay her legal fees. The neighborhood split, some sided with her, spouting crap about maintaining property values, which reeked of classist bullshit. Others saw through it, but the controversy brewed, with anonymous online posts calling us troublemakers or her a bully. In the thick of it, Sarah dropped the bomb. We were prepping for court when she pulled out a framed law degree from a box in the attic. "I didn't want this defining us," she said. "I wanted a normal life, Michaela marriage without the spotlight." Turns out, she'd clerked for judges, handled high-stakes cases, but stepped back for family. Now, she was unleashing it all. Court day was electric. Sarah represented us pro bono, striding in like a gladiator. Evelyn's lawyers sputtered as Sarah dismantled their case. Emails proving fabricated violations, witness statements on her harassment, bank records exposing her foreclosure scheme and profit motive. She highlighted the discrimination how Evelyn targeted newcomers who didn't fit her elite mold, sparking heated debates in the gallery about HOA abuses and socioeconomic divides. The judge, a no-nonsense woman, slammed her gavel. Case dismissed, sanctions on Evelyn for frivolous filing, and a stern warning about perjury. Evelyn stormed out, red-faced, her empire crumbling. But she wasn't done. In a rage, she blasted rants on social media, accusing the system of bias and demanding a meeting with the police chief. "These people are destroying our community," she posted, igniting online firestorms, some defending her as a victim of entitlement, others calling her out for weaponizing police against kids. The controversy went viral locally, pitting neighbors against each other in heated debates over power, privilege, and who really belongs. The climax hit at the police station. Evelyn barged in, yelling at the chief, "Arrest them. They're the criminals." The chief, stone-faced, said, "Ma'am, let's discuss this calmly." Then Sarah walked in, briefcase in hand. Evelyn sneered, "What are you doing here?" Sarah's voice was ice. "I'm here in my official capacity." She revealed her badge county manager Sarah Johnson, overseer of local governance, including the police department. The chief reported directly to her. Evelyn's face drained of color as the truth sank in. She'd been picking a fight with the one person who could bury her. Criminal charges followed, false emergency reports, harassment, even fraud for her property schemes. Her house foreclosed, debts swallowed her whole, and the neighborhood shunned her like a pariah. She slunk away to some dingy apartment across town, her dreams shattered. We bounced back stronger. Ethan nailed his scholarships, leading his team to state champs, the hoop still standing proud in the driveway. The neighborhood united, voting in anti-harassment policies that curbed HOA overreach, sparking broader talks about reforming these mini-dictatorships. I learned never to underestimate the quiet one. Sarah had been protecting civil rights all along, using her position to shield folks from bullies like Evelyn. In the end, our family emerged unbreakable. As I watch Ethan dunk under the stars, I reflect, don't judge by the surface. Power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the steady hand waiting to strike. And in a world quick to divide by class or clout, justice through the right channels can topple even the mightiest tyrants. But man, the fallout? It left scars and debates that still rage. Who was the real villain? The HOA enforcer or the system that let her thrive?